Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you for coming to Bhaktivedanta Manor this wonderful evening of Kartik. And every evening we've been discussing the pastimes of Krishna. And today's talk is going to be by Kishori, and she's gonna speak today about the pastime of Pralambasura. So please stay. It's only till 7 o'clock, and we shall discuss it. So once you offered your candle, you can come and stay here. But we'll start off with a little kirtan. Okay, so let me just grab the drum, and we can do a little kirtan and then do the talk. Is that good? Okay, yeah, good. Hare Krishna.
No, I don't want to sing. So you sit and sing. You sit and sing, and then I'll come after.
No, that's your seat. Hare Krishna. So, we do sing a song which is called Jaya Radha Madhava. Who knows that song? Okay, so we'll sing another song instead. It's called the Hare Krishna song. Who knows that song? Okay, good. Let's sing that song. Okay? And I'll sing and you can follow me. We'll do kirtan for till 6:30, and then 6:30 Kishori will take over. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Your turn. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so today's topic is on Pralambhasura, big demon. Pralambhasura, big demon in Krishna Leela. So Kishori here, she's our local yoga teacher, but today she's gonna be teaching Bhakti Yoga. So please do stay as she talks to you about Pralambhasura for just half an hour. It's a very short talk. And then 7 o'clock we will have Damodarashtakam and Kirtan and more candle offering. Hare Krishna. So stay there.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. I see lots of friends in the audience, so that is really nice. I see some happy, smiling, friendly faces looking back at me, so that's super nice. Before we start, I'm just going to chant some mantras, a few prayers, and this is to thank our teachers. Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Jai Gauranitai ki, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Yashoda Damodar ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai. So before we start, I'm just going to chant a few mantras, a few prayers. So if you know them, you can chant them with me. And if not, you can simply just listen. And this is me seeking the blessings of my teachers and my teachers' teachers to be able to speak something of use, something nice, just for the next half an hour. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pachanine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitaine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so Hare Krishna, welcome. We're going to talk just for 20 minutes about the pastime of Krishna and a demon, the very special demon, Palambasura. So my understanding is that you've all been hearing different pastimes of Krishna every evening, is that correct? And about the different demons that have been coming during this special month of Kartik. So I would like to start off by talking a little bit about Vrindavan. So in Vrindavan, at this time when this demon was coming, it was just coming into this summer season. And Srila Prabhupada explains, and I think many of you here maybe are from India or have family in India, that when the summer comes in India, it's not very much welcomed because it's so hot. Because it's so hot, uncomfortably hot in some parts of India, right, during the summer season. But in Vrindavan, the summer season is just like spring. So there's a cool breeze and it never gets too hot. And nothing in Vrindavan becomes too uncomfortable. And that's because Krishna is there. And because Krishna is there, it means no one in Vrindavan ever really feels any kind of discomfort. So even though the heat of summer was just rolling in, it felt just like spring. It's also explained in the Krishna book how during this time that all the different kunds and lakes around them, there was different types of special flowers, special lotus flowers. And with the cool spring or summer breeze, it would waft this beautiful smell of all these different lotus flowers. And I think when we hear about what Vrindavan is like, it helps us to meditate because Vrindavan is, the topmost destination for everyone. And that's where we want to go, right? Ultimately, at the end of this life, we want to go back to Vrindavan. So it helps us to know about it. So sweet-smelling lotus flowers, cool breeze. It's cool spring breeze, even though it's like summer. So anyway, Krishna and Balaram on this day were going about their usual business. And does anyone know what Krishna and Balaram's usual business is? Can anyone tell me what they would usually do? Yes. Yes, that is something they would do. Anyone else? Yeah, cow herding, yeah. They were good friends, yeah. And what do young boys usually like to do together? Get up and play. They like to play, so you're right. So all of these things, they were good friends. They got up to mischief. They would herd the cows, but they would also play. And it's described in Krishna book how they would always be playing together and they would play all sorts of different things. Sometimes they would pretend that they were kings and that they had their kingdom and they were ruling over it. Sometimes they would mock each other. Sometimes Krishna would dance and the other boys would, play on different things in the forest while Krishna was dancing. They'd be spinning around. So they were intoxicated on love, and they would just be playing all the time, just as young boys do. So they would be playing, and this was happening, so they were going about their usual day. Krishna and the cowherd boys were playing. And they noticed that this new cowherd boy had come to visit them. And it said that Krishna knew right away that something wasn't right here. Something is not right about this cowherd boy. But anyway, I'm going to carry on and just play the game, because if Krishna knew it was a demon and then killed him right away, then there's not so much fun in that, right? And Krishna likes to have fun. So he knew something wasn't right. And but anyway, they decided to play a game, and it was like a wrestling match, like mock fighting. So Krishna headed up a team, so Krishna and the cowherd boys, and then Balaram and the other cowherd boys. So they headed up a team, and they were wrestling each other. And at the end of the game, it said, whoever loses, one team will have to carry the other team on their back and then run around, just like how a horse carries its master on a chariot. So the loser would have to do that. So then they were playing this game, and does anyone know, or can anyone guess whose team won? Krishna or Balaram's team? Balaram. Krishna or Balaram, what do you think? Krishna. It was a pretty even match, but ultimately, Balaram's team won. So Krishna's team lost and Balaram's team won. So that meant that Krishna's team would have to piggyback Balaram's team. So they were getting into pairs. They were in pairs fighting, and then that pair would have to do that. So anyway, this cowherd boy in disguise, he was the one who decided, I'm going to carry Balaram on my back, because he knew that Krishna is very strong and Krishna is very powerful. So let me try and get away with him. Let me deal with Balaram first, and then I'll deal with Krishna. Because this demon, he actually wanted to come and kidnap Krishna and Balaram. And we've explained it before, how demons present themselves in different ways in different cycles of time, in the different yugas, right? So before, demons and demigods would live on different planets, right? And then what would happen, like in Lord Ram's time, that demons and demigods would live on the same planet, but in different spaces. And then, over time, the demons would then live in the same families. So you'd have demons and demigods in the same family, or good and bad within the same family. And now in Kali Yuga, which is the Yuga we're in now, demons reside within all of us. So we all have our own demons. We all have our battles. That everyone has a battle. Everyone has different demons that we're fighting. And sometimes what happens is when we come to Krishna consciousness and when we start chanting, these demons or these bad qualities within us kind of bubble up to the surface, and we start noticing things about ourselves that we maybe wouldn't notice before. And that's fine, because it's a purifying process. So the more we chant, the more we read, the more we associate with devotees, the more we do kirtan, the more any kind of demons that we have inside of us will naturally get washed away. So anyway, so where are we? Yeah, so Balaram is on the back of this demon / cowherd boy. And Balaram doesn't know anything. So he's on the back, and he notices that, hang on a minute, this cowherd boy is taking me in a completely different direction to where all my other cowherd friends are going. What's happening here? And then he's thinking, okay, this is a bit strange. Like, where are you taking me? Let's go back that way. Let's go back with my friends. And then soon this cowherd boy starts manifesting his real demon form. And then Balaram notices, okay, something isn't right here. So he starts getting really big, this demon, so big, like as tall as a mountain. And he thinks, this is how I'm going to get Balaram. But Balaram, he is known as Ananta Shesh. It means he is so strong, he holds up all of the universes on his hoods. This is Balaram. Balaram is also the original guru. And does anyone know what the word guru, what the translation of guru is? Heavy. So this demon could not be tricked. So he had Balaram, who is Ananta Shesh, who's holding up all of the universe on his head, who is the original guru, means heavy. So Balaram thought, he's not getting away with this. So what Balaram did, still being this small cowherd boy, he put all of his weight down. And this demon's trying to carry Balaram on his back, and Balaram's getting heavier and heavier. And then does anyone know how Balaram killed this demon? It was quite a swift death. He punched him right in the face. So Balaram punched him in the face, knocked him out, blood splattered everywhere, and that was the end of that. But what happened was, because this demon, he'd gotten so tall, he was tall like a mountain. So when Balaram, with his little fist, as a small cowherd boy, punched him in the face, he fell to the ground, and it sounded like there was an earthquake had just happened. That's how loud this bang was. And so all the cowherd boys came running back, and they were like, what happened? What happened? And then they were all cheering Balaram, saying, oh, well done, Balaram. You did it again. And that's how Palambasura got killed, with one swift punch to the face. Although I would like to say we do practice ahimsa here in the Hare Krishna movement. Ahimsa meaning non-violent, but this was some transcendental activity that went on. It's also Bhaktivedanta Thakur, who we can see here at the last one here on our Guru Parampara. He gave the example, and he told us that all these demons that are there in the Krishna book, and all these demons that Krishna and Balaram killed, they all represent something within us, or something, that's happening right now. So this demon, Palambasura, he represents lust and the want to for honor and recognition. So this is what this demon represents. And I think, speaking for myself, I definitely have, and I think a lot of people do have that little thing inside of you that wants some recognition. We have that pride within us. So we can hope that Balaram can just punch that away so that we can continue progressing in our Krishna consciousness. One thing that I found really interesting when I was reading this pastime, and just the pastimes in general about Krishna, is that Krishna would kill a demon every day. In fact, Krishna and Balaram would often kill multiple demons a day. But the cowherd boys and the girls and the residents of Vrindavan, they were never scared. They never thought, okay, today I'm not going to go and play. Or today, maybe we should just stay inside and batten down the hatches. Because they knew that every day demons were coming, and they were coming because they wanted to kill Krishna and Balaram. But that didn't stop them from wanting to be with Krishna. Because they were fearless, because they knew that Krishna is going to resolve any kind of issue that comes our way. And not only is Krishna going to resolve it, but it's actually so much fun. So when Krishna would be killing these demons, the cowherd boys thought it was so fun. Like, we know that Krishna is going to save us. The pastime with Aghasura, the big snake, right? And the cowherd boys were walking into this huge snake's mouth. Some were thinking, what's this? It's quite soft on my feet. Oh, it's nice and warm in here. Oh, and then someone said, no, this is this huge snake. You're walking into its mouth. And they're like, oh, it's fine. Krishna will save us anyway. So the idea is that when we practice Krishna consciousness, when we're chanting, when we're trying to learn about Krishna, there's no need to be scared. There's no need to be fearful, because Krishna does protect. Does anyone know what the word Vaikuntha means, or what it can represent? No anxiety. Right? So Vaikuntha is a name for the spiritual world, and it means a place of no anxiety. So there's so much anxiety in this material world. There's anxieties all the time, whether they're acute anxieties, and they manifest in things like panic attacks and all those kind of nasty things, or whether it's just anxiety on a subtle level where we generally just feel a bit anxious about life or what's going to happen and this and that. But Vaikuntha means no anxiety. And Krishna consciousness is so powerful that we don't actually have to die and leave our body and go to Vaikuntha to feel this spiritual bliss, to feel this no anxiety. We can actually do it in these bodies while we're here by the practice of Krishna consciousness. Just by chanting, by reading, by really trying to immerse ourselves in this wonderful gift that Srila Prabhupada has given us, we can also feel no fear and no anxiety. Because we know that whatever I'm doing it with the intention to be Krishna conscious, to please Krishna. I ultimately know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's in my heart. He's in everyone else's heart. Krishna is your best friend, and he actually knows you better than anyone else. He knows you better than you even know yourself. Did you know that Krishna has been with you through all your millions of lifetimes, and he's been sitting there right in your heart, waiting for you to turn to him? He's your best friend, and he knows you better than anyone. And once we can kind of start to realize that, the less fearful we can get, and we can be in this Vaikuntha state of mind. Just like the cowherd boys, who even though demons were coming every day, they weren't scared because they knew Krishna would protect them. And ultimately, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I would always protect my devotees. And he declares that boldly. And what does it mean to be Krishna's devotee? Just chant Hare Krishna. Just add Krishna in your life. That's what it means. Even someone who chants Hare Krishna once, they're a devotee. And Krishna declares boldly, I will protect them. So actually, we don't need to fear. Even when things are happening in our life that seem very confusing, or that present themselves as being distressing, upsetting, if we can somehow think, actually, this, what's Krishna's plan in this? And hopefully we can then be more peaceful in our Krishna consciousness. And as you all know, I'm sure that this month is a very special month where any spiritual activity we do is timed by, I think it's 1,000 times. 1,000 times the spiritual benefit you get. So the fact that you're all gathered here today, there's so many other things you could be doing. You're gathered here today to hear about Krishna and his pastimes in Vrindavan, killing the demons, and you're here wanting to offer a lamp to Yashoda Damodar and Radha Gokulananda. It's a really special thing, and we're getting so much benefit just by doing that. So we've got 10 minutes left, so I'm wondering if there's any questions on this story that you'd like to ask, or any comments or anything that you'd like to share in this space. Then please do that, if there's anything. And you don't need to be shy. Okay, go on. Mm. Mm. That's a... Mm. So your question is, from what I said, it kind of maybe can be taken as stories. And how can we know that Krishna actually exists? So I think there's two questions there. I'll answer the last part of your question first, the second part of your question first. So how do we know that Krishna actually exists? So I can only share from my personal example, like my personal experience in this. And for me, I know that Krishna exists because of the experiences I've had by practicing Krishna consciousness. I know that the bliss I feel when I'm in kirtan, when I'm doing spiritual activities, I know that's something not from this world. I've been to enough parties, I've done enough things, I've kind of explored enough, and I know this bliss that you feel by doing kirtan or practicing Krishna consciousness is something otherworldly. And I can literally feel this is something not from this material world. So that makes me think it's true. And also, why, for me personally, I can explain that Krishna is real and not just a fictional blue boy that we see in stories is because the relationship that each one of us has with Krishna is really, really personal, because we all have a unique and personal relationship with Krishna. And when we practice Krishna consciousness, that becomes revealed, and we start to see that, and we can actually start to see Krishna playing out in our lives more and more. So I guess, like George Harrison said, the taste is in the pudding, so you got to eat it. You got to try it. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you or anyone that Krishna is real unless you start chanting every day and try and immerse yourself in Krishna consciousness. And then I think Krishna will show you that himself. Is that okay? And the first part of your question, I'm not sure how to answer it. So how do we know they're not stories? Well, I guess what comes to my mind first of all is that all of this knowledge that we're getting through Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Krishna book, it's all coming down through a disciplic succession. So if we look in the Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada, there's actually a whole disciplic succession, and it shows you exactly where this knowledge is coming down from and who exactly it was spoken to. So there's a bona fide disciplic line there, where the knowledge has come directly from Krishna and then passed down from student to teacher in that way. And I don't know, would you like to add to that how we know how would you explain? Is that good? Yeah. It comes down through a bona fide disciplic succession. It's not just. And there's been many, many great saints, great personalities, great sadhus who have written these commentaries based on what their teacher has told them, or even based on their own realization through deep, deep meditation and sadhana and spiritual practice. So whatever is written in any of the books that are presented by Srila Prabhupada have all been written through a bona fide disciplic succession, through great sadhus and saints who have actually realized Krishna themselves. And then it's been passed down from student to teacher in that way. So that's, I think, what I can say on that. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so I think, yes.
So my daughter's 3 years old.
Yeah, hi.
What advice would you give her to love Krishna?
Oh, I think with children, what's your daughter's name? Arya. Arya. Ariana. Ariana. Ariella. Ariella. I think, I think naturally children, it's much easier for children to connect with Krishna because they have less of this kind of like material conditioning, less kind of, maybe their ego isn't so present as it can be in adults. So I think that it can be easier for children to connect with Krishna. And from what I've seen, it comes very naturally, actually. I know that Srila Prabhupada, he would say from when he was younger, he had like Krishna dolls, in his bedroom. And his parents would often recommend him to offer, incense to them and things like that. So I think, just the same like how we would just try hearing about Krishna as much as possible. If we have some Krishna dolls, things like that. And I think with children and with adults alike, the most important thing is to do things that we enjoy in Krishna consciousness. And I think from childhood to adulthood, that might change what our likes and dislikes are. But it's really important that you make your Krishna consciousness fun and you do the things that you love to do, whether that's dancing or singing or reading or cooking or eating. Comes to the prashad. So that is the best. And you come for prashad. And I think we always have to be checking ourselves. Okay, is this okay for me? Do I need to adjust a little bit what I'm doing? Do I need to add a bit of salt here, add a bit of sweet there? What do I need to do to keep myself happy in my Krishna consciousness? Because Krishna consciousness is a joyful process. So if it's not joyful, you're doing something wrong. So I think for children and for adults, the main thing is to make it joyful and, never forcing anyone, just making it joyful like that. So yeah, thank you. Very sweet. Okay, thank you everyone. So curtains will be opening soon, where I believe there'll be Dhammadrastakam sung and candle offering. So thank you so much. Shishi Radha Gokulananda ki jai. Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Gauri Tai ki jai. Yashoda Damodar ki jai. Krishna Balaram ki. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. And for those coming to Mind, Body, Soul, then go to the Bhakti Lounge, where we'll continue.
Place it to me, Simon.